I filmed the whole outro and didn't have my mic on, so that happened. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Smith & Co. Canceled Light Diffusing Concealer. As usual, I've already applied sunscreen and filled in my eyebrows. I've also applied primer and already done my eyes. That way we can focus more on getting right to the base. I'm going to be starting with the Smith & Co. Veiled Threat Foundation. The concealer recommends going over this as a foundation. I prefer applying this foundation with my fingers. I go in with about a pump first. I wear the shade 180 Cool in the Veiled Threat Foundation, but I wasn't sure how the numbers coincided with each other. I picked up the shade 120 Cool. I haven't opened it yet, so I have no idea if it's a good shade match. You get 11 milliliters or 0.37 fluid ounces. Alright, so I've gone ahead and zoomed you in so you can have a better look at the foundation and concealer. So checking out the shade match, I actually think it'll be pretty good. I don't really highlight my face all that much, so I prefer a concealer that kind of blends in with my skin tone. Underneath one eye, I'm going to be applying it the way I would normally apply my concealer. On the other eye, I'm going to be applying it the way that Smith & Co. recommends applying, which is a triangle. But underneath my left eye, I'm going to be applying it the way I would normally apply. And I'm just going to push it up into the crevice. This is supposed to be a sheer buildable concealer. It's definitely going on pretty sheer. And then on the other eye, they recommend going in a triangle, dotting it down. And then they recommend blending it out with your finger. I guess I'll start with my side since I put that down first. I'm using my brush, which is my typical means of blending out concealer. I'm just gonna press that in. Okay. I definitely like the way that looks. And now going in with my finger, I'm going to be doing the ring finger and blending that out. That blended out really nicely. I feel like blending it out with my finger actually pulled up a little bit of foundation. I can see a little bit more redness by where I used my finger. They look to be about the same kind of coverage. And it looks nice. I definitely don't see my dark circles. The bags are there, but there's nothing I can do about that. It does say that it's buildable, but since I like where my concealer is sitting right now, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the rest of my face so that we can continue to see how the product applies. But it looks really nice how it's wearing right now. I won't be setting the concealer today. I'm just going to let it wear naturally how it would, and we'll see throughout the day if it makes any difference whether or not it was set. It's blending out really nicely with the finger though. The tip of my nose doesn't have any foundation or concealer on it anymore. It's not the concealer or the foundation's fault. My nose just doesn't like, well, or foundation, it doesn't hold product. This time I'm going to blend it out with the brush and see if the brush maybe holds the coverage. It's showing up nicer on camera than it is in real life. On the tip of my nose may have been a mistake. Try to lightly blend it in just a little bit more. Making it worse, so I'm just gonna move on. I want to try to do at least 10 hours, so about 6:30 we'll do a final check-in hopefully, and we'll see how it wears throughout the day. Like I mentioned, I'm not going to be setting my under eye, so we'll just see normal wear, how it's going to go. I imagine just based on how the application went that my nose is not going to last for much longer, but my under eyes are looking really nice. Based on how it's dried down, I'm expecting a pretty good wear, at least for the first 6 hours or so. I'm going to do the rest of my base and I'll catch you in a second. So this is the finished look for today. I'm going to zoom you in for one more look at how the concealer is wearing. I did lose a little track of time, so it's about an hour after I showed you. So as you can see on this eye, there is some creasing and build up within the creases. My right eye, which is the side that we did the V on, there's some creasing and build up as well, but it's not as noticeable. If you're trying to avoid creasing, you're gonna definitely have to set it. I knocked the camera when I was zooming it in and out, so it's a little bit more off than it normally is, but aside from that, I think we're in good shape. Wearing a mixture of the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil and the Fenty Beauty bronzer. I am trying so hard to like the Fenty Beauty bronzer. Everyone raves about it. It was supposed to be like an even better version of the Milk Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced, which is my holy grail bronzer, and it's just not good. I can't believe so many people love it because I am having the worst time using it, and I always end up having to go over it with the Milk Chocolate Soleil, but that is not the topic for this video, and that's fine. That's it, I guess, for now, and I will see you in a few hours with a check-in. Hey guys, we're here for the 7-hour check-in. I wanted to do this around 6 hours, but here we are. It is 3:22. I'm a face toucher, so it has also rubbed off of my chin. Elsewhere, though, it seems to be holding up pretty nicely. Oh, my mascara is transferring underneath the eye. That's fun. The creasing is still there. I usually don't notice creasing, but I've definitely noticed a lot of creasing and sinking into the fine lines underneath my eye. It's not as bad on this side, which is the side I used my fingers to press in. Definitely sunk into the fine lines on both sides. Elsewhere, it looks fine. Again, my nose is pretty much rubbed off entirely, but that's not a big surprise. And around my mouth a little bit, I have eaten, so I think that's more of a eating problem than a concealer problem. Well, that's where we are at 7 hours. I guess I'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, this is my final check-in. Again, because I can't seem to work out turning on the video camera or turning on the microphone. It's one or the other, is always off the first time around. I have been wearing this concealer for just under 11 hours. It's about 7:15 right now. First, I just want to remind you what the packaging looked like because I actually really like the packaging. The concealer retails at Ulta for $28 and you get 0.37 fluid ounces, which is 11 milliliters. To compare that to some of the other popular concealers, the Tarte Shape Tape retails for $27 and you get 0.33 fluid ounces, which is pretty comparable. A little less product, a little less money. Whereas the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer retails for $29 and you get 0.50 fluid ounces. So just $1 more, but almost double the product. The concealer claims to be a brightening, blue light repelling under eye concealer with a lightweight radiant finish. I definitely agree that it was brightening underneath the eye. I do think over the wear time it has become less brightening, and I do believe that throughout the day I did lose some coverage. To me it didn't matter, but if you're looking for a concealer that's going to hold coverage from the minute you put it on to the minute you take it off, then I don't think that this is the concealer that you're looking for. It is a sheer buildable coverage concealer, and I didn't work that hard on building it because I was quite happy with how it applied. Where I did build it on my nose, the product didn't stay. My nose is a problem area, and that is not necessarily a deal breaker because I do know that I personally have problems keeping foundation and concealer on my nose. There are some things moving forward that I will try to see if it helps extend the life of the concealer. It also claims to be a skin smoother. I don't necessarily agree that my skin looked smoother while wearing it, but I'm not necessarily looking for a concealer to smooth the texture, so again, not a deal breaker for me. They claim it wears as a second skin. I definitely agree with that part of it. Once I put on the foundation and the concealer, it dried down immediately. There was no transfer, there was no stickiness. I never felt like I was wearing anything. I got compliments on my makeup today, how it looked very natural, which is nice because that's what you want to hear. You don't want to hear that you look like a cake face, +1 in that column. Overall, I'm really happy with how the concealer wore. I was personally looking for a concealer just like this to be sheer, to be buildable, because right now the concealers that I do have in my collection are very full coverage. So if you are looking for something that is not a full coverage concealer, then this is absolutely an avenue that I think you should explore. There are 20 shades. They range from very fair to very deep. There are 3 undertones: cool, warm, and neutral. I do think that because it's a sheer concealer, you'll be able to find your shade. I do feel like it paired well with the foundation. I'm overall very happy with how the concealer wore today. I'm very much looking forward to playing with it again. I do feel like this concealer is a good addition to my makeup collection. I'll let you know down in the description box if there's any changes in my initial feelings. I'm quite sure, based on how it wore the first time, that I will be wearing this again. In case you missed it, hi, my name is Katie and you can catch me most often on Instagram. Don't miss an upload. Subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified on Sundays and Wednesdays when I upload. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you on Sunday with my next video, a this or that battle between the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz and the brand new Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil.